Welcome to Morton Presbyterian Church on the Wirral. Thanks to Gwyn and modern technology, we're sharing video worship together. Wherever and whenever you're watching this, you are part of our fellowship. At the start of every service, the duty elder lights a special candle mounted on the wall beneath the pulpit. It is our peace candle, brought back by a group of Christians visiting Russia in 1986 after a service dedicating the candles in the Russian Orthodox Church. It is a symbol of peace, and ever since the Russian invasion of Ukraine, it's lit to remind us in our worship of our prayers for peace, more urgently needed than ever. Share in our worship now as we light the peace candle. Sorry, I was distracted for a moment. Ezekiel chapter 36 at verse 26. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. The Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz wanted one. You have one. Doctor Who has two. Rumour has it that the General Secretary has one. It is that miracle of engineering, the human heart. It is designed with one aim and one aim alone, to beat. And it will do so for you 100,000 times today, 3 billion times over an average lifetime. The heart is mentioned in the Bible over 1,000 times. It's more than a pump. For example, Proverbs instructs, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. The psalmist wrote, create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. And now let me tell you about a 9-year-old girl called Kira. The story of her heart is told by a doctor who introduces us to this joyful, fun-loving girl, full of life. You can read the full story in Dr. Rachel Clark's book, The Story of a Heart. On Sunday, the 30th of July, 2017, everything is to change for this happy girl. For the rest of her life, Luana, Kira's mother, will keep returning to that day. Suppose, for example, if Kira, offered the treat of a day out with Mum, chose to go to the beach instead of a play park. And what if they had left the house in the car just a few seconds later? As Rachel Clark says, you can lose your mind just thinking about it. Tiny differences that take life down a different route. The Gospels are full of such moments. Suppose the rich man who came to Jesus at night had not gone away, but had stayed with Jesus, becoming one of his followers. Instead, he walked away with a heavy heart. The heart again. If. But there is no sliding door offering a happy conclusion for Kira. Instead, there was a head-on collision between her mother's car and a van. Kira's heart was too strong to give up, but she had suffered a massive bleed in the brain. She was brain dead. Her older sisters arrive at the hospital. They tuck her favourite toy dog under her arm and with music blasting out on her phone, they chat non-stop about hair, nails, and music. They gently hold Kira's hands while painting each nail a dazzling shade of orange. The doctor arrives and asks the family if they have any questions. "Yes," says the older sister. "Can we donate her organs?" I know that's what she would have wanted. There are 13 children in need of urgent heart transplants who match Kira's size and blood group. The child at the top of the list is the same age as Kira, 9 years old. His name is Max Johnson. He lay in a hospital bed in Newcastle, 300 miles away, trapped in his bed with an artificial heart, keeping him barely alive. The two teams were ready. The organ retrieval team at Bristol, ready to remove Kira's heart, and another team of surgeons in Newcastle ready to put Kira's heart into Max's failing body. Kira's hospital room was all about love and hope and pride, and two sisters who adored their baby sister, and grandparents and aunts and uncles, and music playing. In her favourite pyjamas, she looked like a 9-year-old who had been at a sleepover. Kira's father returned from an emergency shopping trip with a brand new party dress, all sparkles and taffeta. It would be brought into the operating theatre for Kira to wear as she was returned to the room after her organs had been removed. Kira's father had one last word for his daughter. "I know you are going to go and do something incredible now." The operating theatre doors shut. Tearful goodbyes over, time is of the essence. But even then, the specialist nurse in the operating theatre asks everyone to stop. We're taking a moment now to give thanks for Kira and her family. Then we will be retrieving these incredible gifts to help save lives and benefit other children from this absolute gift that Kira is giving. Please, can we all now take a moment to think about Kira and how thankful we are to her and her family. Then the operation begins. Kira was too young, too loving, too brimming with hope and potential to die. Long after the transplant team in Bristol had left the operating theatre, the nurses remained to make Kira look as beautiful as possible in her new party dress. A reminder of how much they cared. What will the story of your heart be, I wonder? Has it been loving enough, kind enough for God's kingdom? You know, I'm not sure if the heart we are born with is enough. Perhaps we need a transplant, a new heart fit for God's kingdom, fit too to do him service in this life. The English translation of the Welsh hymn Calon Lan says this: I do not ask for a luxurious life, the world's gold or its fine pearls. I ask for a happy heart, a truthful heart, a pure heart. A pure heart that's full of goodness, fairer than the delicate lily. Only a pure heart can sing the day and sing the night. A truthful heart, a pure heart. A heart like that of a child that sings the day and sings the night. This is a sermon that should never have been preached, a story that should never have been told. But perhaps we've learnt something from Kira. As for the transplant, it was a success. Max is a teenager now. All that he will go on to experience will always and forever have been enabled by Kira, the girl who gave her heart to a dying boy, that he might share its marching beat. Weirdly, Max's family and Kira's family got in touch. Finally, they met, with Max present. Suddenly, Max's mother produces a borrowed stethoscope. Laughing with disbelief, the children form a queue. Kira's father lays the drum of the stethoscope on the skin of Max's chest, and he listens to Kira's heartbeat. On the 20th of May 2020, the Organ Donor Deemed Consent Act was passed into English law. Organs can now be used unless a person opts out. The law is officially named on the statute books as Max and Kira's Law. Ezekiel wrote, "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit in you. I will remove from you your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh." But this is not about what a prophet wrote. This is about a child's gift. You know, I often wonder, what was it that so refreshed a tired Jesus when he had talked enough, preached enough, healed enough? It was, of course, the children who came to him. Children whose gift of innocence and wide-eyed wonder at the world, whose acceptance and trust made Jesus smile, laugh even, as he bounced them on his knee and played with them, much to the annoyance of his disciples. No man or woman who does not become like a little child can enter the kingdom of heaven, he told his cynical, adult, suspicious followers. A child's heart is perhaps what we need, even for some of us in the twilight of our years, when all has grown tired and stale in our lives. A heart that sings for day and sings for night. So the last word belongs not to Ezekiel, but to Kira. Remember at the beginning of this sermon, I was distracted by a copy of a letter in my pocket. You see, on the 29th of June 2017, Mrs. Leach, Kira's school teacher, had given her Year 5 class an end-of-year challenge. She told them to write down in a letter what their hopes were for Year 6. One of them was Kira. She addressed herself by her nickname, Bob, then handed the letter to Mrs. Leach. At the start of the new term, 1 month after Kira's death, Mrs. Leach discovered Kira's letter unopened and took it to Kira's parents. With the careful, rounded handwriting of the young girls, they read the following words. "Dear Bob, over the next year, I would like to get better at writing, get better at looking after animals, get better at English. I will do my best to achieve them. Bye. Yours sincerely, Kira." Amen.